What's going on, guys? It's Max Peterson. Today I'm bringing you this beautiful Aztec fountain. It is a one-off custom made one made by Dom. Cheers, Dom. And this thing looks absolutely awesome. I got it in the matte black and purple colorway here. But without further ado, let's get right into it. The fountain deck comes in a couple of different colors. It comes in red, gold, like a raw color, black, and then they have the signature series, which is Logan Fuller, which is like a kind of raw, dark brownish, and Dan Barrett's, which is a red and black, which looks pretty similar to this. Kind of the way I got the idea from, except I asked for purple because Dom said he could make me a custom deck, so I wasn't going to say no. Head tube angle on the Aztec here is 82.5. I've been riding 83 for the last 3 years, so I definitely prefer 83, but 82.5 feels pretty nice. The Jabber I have right now is 82.5, so I'm quite used to it. So it's not going to be too big of a change, which is nice. So the head tube sits 4 inches from the front of the deck, and the foot space is 15 inches. So it's relatively the same size as my Jabber. I cut my Jabber down to 22, so I have 15.3 inches foot room on that one there. This is 15 inches, so this has got slightly smaller foot space, but to me that's not much of a big deal. 0.3 inches isn't a great deal. But foot space, the reason why it matters is because you can have a 23-inch long deck, but it may only have, 14 inches of foot space, so it's not going to feel like a 23-inch long deck. I was previously riding a quadroom, it was 21, and that thing had little to none foot room, so going from the quadroom to the Jabber 23 with 16 inches foot room was a huge jump up. So this one's going to feel really nice. I'm going to be really used to this one. It's going to be right in the middle, so I'm going to like this. I know that for a fact. The Aztec fountain is 5 inches on top and it's 4.5 inches on the bottom. So the reason it's 4.5 inches on the bottom is because it tapers in the tiniest bit on the side, as you can see right here. So one good thing I like about decks being tapered is when you do a lip slide on pool coping and stuff like that, or something with a very, very aggressive surface. When it's really square on the sides, it kind of wants to drag and dig in a little bit more, so you catch a little bit easier. But this being rounded, it's not going to want to bite quite as much. But the downside of that is you do lose a little bit of room on the bottom, so you're not going to get the full length on the bottom. So unlike my Jabber, it's 4.8 on top and on bottom. This one is 5 on top with 4.5 on the bottom. So I'm losing 0.5 inches from the taper here, but to me, that's not so much of a big deal. I would prefer it if it was fully squared. But each of the ground plates here are 1.5 inches wide, so you're going to get a total of 1.5 inches on each side, giving you 3 inches of surface that you're going to be potentially grinding on when doing a board side. But the 5.0 room here is 1.5 inches, so that's pretty good. For a 5-wide deck, 1.5 inches is not too bad. But the thing I like most about the deck here is the actual dropout. So it does round off a little bit here, as you can see. So most square back end decks just kind of square off. This one is actually rounded, kind of like a space deck as well. Same kind of idea. And I think this is going to be more beneficial. You're going to have a better balance point on something like this. So the Aztec fountain has 24 degrees of concave. I'm not someone that knows a whole great deal about how concave works or anything like that, but I do love concave. Concave is really, really good. My Jabber and my quadroom had pretty decent concave, so more concave the better, I think. It makes it easier for whips, and it definitely feels a lot better. One of the things I love the most about this deck are the deck ends. These things are really, really cool. So these things are CNC'd out of aluminium, and they are self-tightening ones as well. So what I mean by self-tightening is you only need a 6mm Allen key. You won't actually need a socket. For my quadroom, I needed a socket to tighten up the back of it. Plus, when it got bent in, it just made it hard. So you're not going to have this problem with this back end. Same with the Jabber. So what I mean by self-tightening is, dropouts here will hold the nut, so you won't have to tighten it with a socket, which is going to be really convenient because you can just carry a 6mm around. I just carry a tool around like this, so all I need is to tighten my compression in my wheels, and everything pretty much just tightens itself, which is really good. So you're not going to be having to carry around a bunch of tools. It's going to make life much easier for you and life much easier for everyone else as well, not having to carry around tools. The bottom of this deck here is really nice. I love how flush everything sits underneath, so everything sits nice and perfectly on the bottom. It's going to act like a peg in a way with the curve, so it's going to be really good for 5.0s. And the balance point, I feel, is going to be much better than if it was just square. So I feel like I'm going to have a better point to rock on, which is going to be really nice. And I can't wait to do some 5.0s on this. I've been loving 5.0s lately. But that's pretty much going to do it for this deck. I'm going to put it together, and I'm going to head to the skate park and try and film as much clips as I can. I don't even want to ride this thing. It's a one-off deck. I'm never going to have another one in this colorway. So I might just, you know what? F it. I'm not going to ride it. I'm going to go hang it up on this wall because it's too beautiful to ride. So I'm sorry, guys. You're just going to have to miss out. Bad luck. So I just walked up to Noble. I've got a mismatching scooter. I've got orange grips. I've got blue wheels with the black and purple deck. ACOT's here too. What up, ACOT?
Hey, came through with the new SCS one.
That's right. But the skies are very grey and the skate park's pretty wet, so you know, the typical Melbourne thing. Just don't know how much riding I'm going to be able to get in. But we're going to get it done. Look at how mismatching my scooter is right now. Looks good. Besides that, that's it's not too nice. Well, that's Brad.
Your smile can't describe.
So first impressions of this scooter, it's really fun. The 82.5 head angle is kind of weird to me. I don't really like it that much. And it doesn't help that I have some pretty badly bent affinity bars from doing a front flip in my Instaclip right here. Besides that, this thing is really good. It grinds really well for being only 4.5 on the bottom, 50/50s. It still feels the same. Yeah, this thing is sick. I'm loving it so far. The colorway looks really nice. Currently rocking blue wheels, so they're the only ones I had in my car, so cheers flavor for that. And my orange grips, these things, the only things I could find. The deck ends at the end are really good. How I was talking about earlier in the video, how they kind of round it off, it makes it much better for 5.0s. I think the balance point for me is much easier to find, and it just sits right in that balance point, which is the best, so I'm loving that. It's sick.
Just words could ever say. And what my heart has heard, well, it takes my breath away. I have
So I just got back from the park and this thing was beautiful. I loved every second I rode it. In the short period I did ride it, it started raining, so I did have to leave. But besides that, the deck overall, it's awesome. The foot space felt really nice. It was easy to get used to. And going from 4.8 to 5, it was a little bit of a difference. I definitely noticed it after riding the Jobber for so long, but I definitely prefer a 5 wide over 4.8, which is a benefit. The 82.5 degree head tube angle was kind of weird to me. I'm just not really used to that. I'd need a couple more hours on this thing to really get a good feel for it. But everything else was awesome. The deck ends here, they worked really well. I was actually very surprised doing 5.0s. I'd definitely prefer it with this over a square back for sure. So the balance point was just really nice, so it just kind of sat in that one position really easily. That was definitely a plus about this deck. The only minus was the head tube angle. Everything else was tip top. I did notice it was a bit bitey at first on board slides, and that was just because the deck wasn't very worn in. So after a couple of board slides and a whole lot of wax, it ended up working pretty well. It looks sick, it rides really well. I definitely recommend going out and getting yourself an Aztec fountain deck, either the Signature Series or one of the standard ones. They are absolutely awesome. Huge thanks to Dom from Aztec Scooters. This thing was awesome to ride. I'm loving the purple and black combo here. So I'm going to hang this up here and sit it with the other ones. I'll show you what it looks like up there. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. Thanks for watching. What do you guys want to see next? Do you want to see me do vlogs? Do you want me to do some stuff with Juzzy? I know Sean Deasy's in town right now, so I can try and get a day off work and hang out with him. What do you guys want to see? Do you want to see more reviews? Do you want to see trick tutorials? All that kind of good stuff. So just let me know in the comment section what you guys want to see, because I'm down to do anything. I love making these videos. It's a bit of a refresh in the scooter world, which is really nice. But you guys know what to do. Give this video a like, subscribe. Peace out, y'all.